Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday, November 6th, 2024. Here with episode 21 or 22 now. 22, I believe.
22, yeah.
22, yep. So good morning, AJ.
Morning, sir. How are you?
Doing well, doing well.
Good.
Excited for this episode, but also in a weird way not. We ran into a moment where we were like, is there enough for an episode? And of course there is, because there's always things happening in the sports world. But
Yeah,
just recently we had that sports equinox where the four majors have sports on the
right.
day, and everything's hot popping off, but starting to slow down a little bit into November as it usually does, and it starts to fizzle all the way to July until pretty much everything's over and but baseball has become.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it'll pick up. It's it's at that like weird lull right before the holidays. And
Right.
then I feel
Yeah,
like
it's
after Thanksgiving, because then you start getting into like playoff races,
oh
stuff like
yeah, for
that.
sure. March Madness, like all the good
Yeah,
stuff.
and then yeah, it kind of picks up and then it drops off again once you hit summer. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I agree.
Do you want to dive right into the meat and bones of today?
Yeah, might as well start.
The most important thing that happened today on November 5th, 2024 was the NFL trade deadline. Yeah, so that was, yeah, it was a big day. It wasn't too many big names, but there was probably five to seven or so that are pretty big that matter, and they aren't just salary cap things or draft pick rate compensation type deals or just
Yeah.
technicalities or whatever. But
Right, no player for player trades that I saw. It was
yeah,
all
yeah,
just
nothing.
draft capital for a
Yeah,
player.
yeah,
So
things just like that. People expected like Tyreek to possibly be on the move, Miles Garrett, Max Crosby,
Miles Sanders,
Miles
was another
Sanders.
guy. I guess there was some interest in Anthony Richardson before the Colts shut everybody
Yeah,
down.
Bryce Young,
Bryce
same
Young,
thing.
yeah.
There was a lot going
So
on. Honestly, Devontae Adams, but now the Jets think that they're back. They just have to win the last 35 games of their season. So, but yeah,
yeah,
I mean, some people that did move, probably the biggest name on that list, probably Marshawn Lattimore to the Commanders. It's a tough day for you as an Eagles fan to have him back there now.
yeah, I'm not thrilled about it. He's a great cornerback. Made their defense even stronger.
Yeah.
And the team that I could always rely on, at least giving us one win every year and probably two, is I fear is no longer.
Yeah.
I guess it's cool to actually see a real franchise in Washington for once. That's something that I don't think either of us really have ever seen in our
No.
lifetimes.
Yeah. I was
Um,
reading a thread today where it was a bunch of comments and it was like, like how old are you in your fan base? The question, I think it might have been a PMT post, but it was, would you rather have one Super Bowl win in 50 years or four Super Bowl appearances but losses? And I was like, everyone was like one in 50. I'm a millennial Dolphins fan. I'm a millennial this fan. I'm a
yeah,
millennial this fan. Like, I'm a millennial Titans fan. Please, for the love of God, give me one Super
uh,
Bowl win. Like,
Titans.
so so it's just teams that like I feel them like I was a child for the Bronco win, so like that doesn't count for me. So like for me, like that first one that we won, it just was
Yeah,
like you have that sense of relief where you're like, oh my God, okay, yes, not gonna die without seeing a Super Bowl win. Holy shit,
right.
because
Yeah,
like it's just you don't have
as an
any
Eagles
control
fan, I
over
get
it.
that.
Yeah, but like yeah, you don't have any control over it, but like you're just so emotionally and mentally invested in it, and so it's just like yeah, you finally get that first one. It's like oh, thank God, like
Yeah,
I have one checked out. Yeah, going 0-1 was tough, and I was like, please give me a second,
yeah, no doubt.
please. But yeah, I feel that though the Chiefs were a terrible franchise in our division for the longest time. Chargers, same thing. I said when
Yeah,
the Ladainian Tomlinson, Philip Rivers era ended, they've been ass, and then the Chiefs were ass for a while, and then they get Patrick Mahomes, and now they're just murdering everyone, and so
yeah,
yeah, it's crazy, but
yeah.
um,
It's one of those things that
yeah,
I'm not used to, but
yeah, it
it's
happens in
exciting. It makes the
waves.
games more fun to
It does,
watch.
yeah, for sure, yeah.
So
It sucks if you're not getting those easy two wins, but it makes it more fun.
yeah,
But also
we
speaking of
still
the
have the
Chiefs,
Giants, so we'll be all
to
right.
touch on the Chiefs though too, since we last episode was Sunday night, they did win last night Monday
Oh
Night
yes, they
Football,
did. Yeah,
or 2 nights ago I guess whenever everyone's listening to this. So yeah, so Monday Night Football they beat the Bucks, was a solid game, and of course yet again they weren't playing great football and still get the wins. Now
yeah.
they're 8-0.
So how do you feel about overtime? What do you do to fix it? I give you a magic wand. What do you do? You're the commissioner for a day.
I don't know.
Tasked
I
with
feel like
fixing
that's the
overtime.
one where they did fuck it up. Like it should be college. Like
I couldn't agree more.
yeah, see, like I don't love. running downfield and scoring and it being over. I don't love a pick six ending the game. Like, I mean, I guess a pick six does kind of count because even in that other situation, like a pick six would pretty much seal
Right.
it. Like you're scoring on defense. Then if you're at the top of the inning, like it's over because you
Right.
now
Yeah.
going offense up. If you're down, then you're still like yeah. So
Yeah.
either way, a pick six wins it. But yeah, so regardless, though, yeah, like I just yeah, I feel like I would rather like put him at like the 40 or 50 yard line or
Yep.
something. Like yeah,
Give
like
him
it
a
doesn't
ball on the
have to be
50.
college at five
Right.
yard line where you're just
Yeah.
making the line murder each other
College is
for
25,
15
but yeah.
plays. Or yeah, but I feel like it even used to be possibly even closer. I feel like they moved it back.
Yeah, it was the
I
20 when we
yeah, I
won.
feel like yeah, just like you know, you're at that point like you're just forcing the line in red zone defense. Like fuck that. Like give
Yeah.
them a shot to play like legitimate offense, and then yeah, then you're field goal in it. You're going for fourth and long, like whatever. Like yeah, the game would be so much more exciting. So yeah, I think that yeah, if I was gonna fix it out, that's one thing that I would actually switch. I like everything else. I feel like college should mimic the NFL. Like timeouts after first downs was dumb. No 2 minute warning was dumb. Like everything should mimic the NFL. But I feel like that's the one where you flip it back and
Yeah.
you just make it college rules
Couldn't
because
agree more.
yeah, it's just silly.
Giving them the ball on the 50. Each team gets a shot. No
Yeah.
kickoffs. Just
I
you get
will
the
say
ball
I'll
on the
never
50.
forget. I mentioned it before, but the 2012 playoffs when the Broncos beat the Steelers, Demarius Thomas stiff armed the absolute fucking dog shit out of Ike Taylor at the 20-yard line. Tim Tebow drops back, terrible ass, goofy left-handed duck throw right into Demarius and a stiff arm, and Demarius just runs to the fucking tunnel. So yeah, that was one of the greatest
Rip.
walk-off overtimes ever. And that was the first of the that was the very first year of the sudden death overtime where it
Yes.
was if you score a touchdown it's over.
Yeah.
Before that it was if you score a touchdown the other team got the ball still. So
Yeah.
but yeah, so anyway, so yeah, Chiefs are still rolling. Broncos play the Chiefs next week, so we just got the shit kicked out of us by the Ravens. Expecting the same next week. I think next week is the Chiefs' final get right game. They're gonna beat the hell out of us. Now they're gonna be everyone's gonna be like, oh cool, they're 9-0, and now they're beating the shit out of people. So I think that's us.
I
So
don't know, man. Let's see.
but But yeah, so yeah, trade deadline stuff. Anyway, yeah, Marshall Lattimore from the Saints to the Redskins to the
Yep.
Commanders was a big one.
Yeah.
Obviously, Javante Adams, DeAndre Hopkins both have moved. Amari Cooper earlier in the week.
Deontay
Um,
Johnson on that list as
Deontay
well.
Johnson as well. Today, Mike Williams and Preston Smith both end up in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Um,
Pittsburgh getting
yeah,
better.
getting even better.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that I would consider Mike Williams better. That's a very hit or miss. If he's healthy, he's catching it. If not,
I
it
think they
doesn't
would have said
matter.
the same thing about Russell Wilson, and so far that's worked
Facts,
out.
and that's yeah. So yeah, I'm not even calling him Russell Wilson. I'm upset that they have non-corny Russell Wilson. Like he all of a sudden just developed swagger, and I don't appreciate it at all. Detroit gets a pass rusher from the Browns, but not the
Good.
one that we anticipated. No Miles
Yeah.
Garrett. They get Zadarius Smith, which also is still a dog of a pass rusher. So
Yeah.
um,
Put him in the rotation.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, yeah. You're just adding them in there. And then yeah, a lot of the other trades have kind of happened earlier in the week that we've kind of already discussed or talked about. I
Yeah.
mean, Cam Robinson in Minnesota was a big one to try to help them out. Tre'Davious White today, I felt that was a weird trade. I felt like again, I don't know if that was just kind of a draft or salary cap thing,
Yeah.
but the Rams, I felt like they've won that game and they told everyone else no one was up for trade, like Cooper and Matt Stafford and everybody.
Right.
So like, why trade a starting quarter? Like, I yes, that one was weird to me. But I mean, yeah, the Ravens get better. Like, why? So
Yeah.
yeah, it's just, but yeah, so. Yeah, that was all. I pulled that all right from Shefty's tweet. That was the easiest sourcing of all time. Thanks, Shefty.
Yeah, for sure. And then my guy, Jason Kelsey. We didn't talk about this the other day, but he smashed a phone while in Penn State
He
for
did.
oh,
He smashed the hell out of that
yeah,
phone.
he Gronk spiked that dude's phone
He
onto the
did.
pavement.
You heard it.
I did see Penn State police open an investigation. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Fine him a couple $1,000s.
Yeah. It's
He did apologize on ESPN. He did one of those I call them celebrity apologies, where they come out and they don't actually say they're sorry. They
yeah.
just like talk about how they could have handled themselves better.
Right, right, right. And then it's not, it got the best of them. Emotions
Yeah,
got the best of me kind of
right,
thing. Yeah.
yeah,
I think my issue with it was the fuck you apologizing for? Just move the fuck on. Just who cares? Just like,
yeah. Well,
and like for me, I mean, him going back to the kid was too much because at that point it was like it's just some drunk asshole behind you. Who cares? But
yeah,
like if in the heat of the moment that kid walked up and was like saying that and he just grabbed the phone and threw it, then like you get out of the dude's face. Like that's on you. But like to
Right.
stop and turn around and go back and re-engage, I think that was where it became like, all right, that was aggressive. Like that was too much. Like now
Yeah.
you started it. Like he just like ignored the kid. Like the crowd probably would have handled the kid. Like if Jason would have kept walking, everyone would be like, dude, it's fucking Jason Kelsey. Shut the fuck up. Like you're ruining our moment. We get to be with him for a second, and
Right.
you're being the dick that's ruining this whole moment. And then
Yeah.
Jason turns the spotlight onto him on accident, and so yeah. But
Right.
yeah, I mean, regardless, yeah, like you said, yeah, it's that kind of half-assed, like I could have handled myself better apology, and then yeah,
Yeah. But to be fair, look, we're all human.
yeah,
Shit
that's
happens.
yeah, that's that was my aspect of it. Like
I
I would
have
have
no
smashed
place
the
to cast
fuck out of
judgment.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would have smashed the fuck out of that phone. Like regardless of dropping the f bomb or what, like antagonizing me about a sibling of all things, like to scream
Right.
Rand, to put Rand's name down in front of me. Like your phone is definitely getting smashed. Like
Yeah.
there's no shot I'm walking away from that and being like, well, words are just words. Like I'm like, no, like words are just words. But now that guy has to go to the Apple Store tomorrow.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, that is what it is.
Yeah,
He made the
that's
decision. He came out and
yeah.
apologized. It
Yeah,
is what
yeah,
it is.
yeah.
So
We still
good for
love
him.
him. He's still on top of the world. Everyone still loves Kelsey.
Yeah. Yeah. Next up, Dennis Allen fired from the Saints. Your
Finally.
punchable man.
Yeah,
One of
yeah,
many.
punchable NFL. Yeah, one of many punchable faces. But yeah,
So
he is forgettable faces. Honestly, but yeah, I feel like
yeah,
I mean he probably still will end up as like a coordinator role somewhere because I feel like
sure.
he
I
was
think him and Robert
unfairly
Sala
put into
both, if I'm
that.
being completely honest.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
they'll both pick up a defensive coordinator, if not another head
Yeah,
coach, to be
yeah.
honest
They
with
do
you.
that thing where they'll do what they're doing now. They either get fired, they'll do some consulting, and then they'll get popped into a job. Like it
Yeah,
always kind of works out like that. But yeah, I mean, he was a decent coordinator for them because he was under the radar with Peyton at the helm, so he didn't really have to do much or carry too much weight or responsibility or accountability. And now being the forefront of the state's organization, it's just like yeah, it's too much for someone like that. So,
yeah.
but yeah, so yeah, he got
So
fired
now we have two
mid-season.
job
So
openings.
who's the other one right now?
Robert Sala in New York got fired.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, they have their interim coach. I was thinking you
Right,
meant
right,
like
sure.
legitimate
No, no,
opening
no.
because like I don't know if the
Well,
Saints announced it.
presumably
Yeah, for
job
sure. Yeah.
openings coming
Typically
off
the interim,
season.
and yeah, depending. I mean,
Yeah,
that yeah, if the Jets just fizzle out, he's not keeping the job. If they make the playoffs or something, I think that guy definitely keeps that fucking
I
job.
don't know.
Because I mean, they're what 2 and they're 3-6 now or whatever. So I mean, that just would be impressive for a defensive coordinator to step up and get the offense, which has looked fucking garbage. Like, I mean, they both have just looked so bad. That's so.
Okay, let me ask you this: You're the Jets. You make the playoffs, get bounced in the wild card round. Bill Belichick is sitting out there waiting for an offer.
Bill Belichick would never coach the Jets because he hates Woody Johnson. That's a thing. Look that
I,
up. Bill Belichick has
sure,
made references to it. There's no way he would ever coach the Jets. I
fair
don't think.
enough.
Playing the game though, 100%. Yeah, I mean, if Belichick wants that and Rodgers is on board with it, and they have their little meeting and their cup of tea, and they come out of there
Yeah,
and they're going, "Oh fucking yeah, let's make this work." Then I'm like, "Oh yeah, sure, I'll write the check." But yeah, I mean, I don't think.
that's fair.
I think Belichick is absolutely lurking though. That's another solid talking point though. That like Belichick is absolutely lurking,
Yeah,
trying to find the right spot. But yeah, see, I don't think he wants a Rodgers one and done because then like also what's next after that? Like I think
sure.
he's watching for like Matt Eberflus to get fired from the Bears.
Yeah,
Like something like that where he can walk in and be like, all right, I got a good defense. I got a young quarterback that's legitimate. Let me draft some O-line people that no one has ever heard of out of a D3 school and develop Super Bowl teams. So
yeah, fair
yeah, so
enough.
that's, yeah, I'm interested to see where Belichick lands. That is something I think I'm really excited to see where he pops up.
And
Honestly, I
then
would take him in Denver if he wants to fuck around in Denver. Get Peyton out of there, get
I
Belichick
don't
in
know
there,
about that.
start working some magic.
And then our last topic for the NFL, Jerry Jones said on the radio this morning that Dak is probably going to IR. And I don't think there was any update for
CD Lamb.
yes, CD.
Yeah,
So
that's yeah. I didn't see anything pop up for CD anyway.
so yeah, going into the Eagles game, sending Dak to IR. Pray that makes it easy for the Eagles, but Cooper Rush is no slouch. He has experience in this position. Um, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, he has experience with whipping the ball. That kid throws the ball
Yeah.
so fast.
You want to update me on some basketball?
Yes. So Celtics lost their first game in an overtime game against the Pacers last week. Sad face, but they've been on a murder streak ever since. We play this weird basketball now though, where after the Olympics, everyone talked about them being on like this like revenge spree because everyone got slighted or shorted, and Jason Tatum sat on the bench the whole Olympics. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Um, like winning the finals and then being the worst of the elite is just a weird combo. Um, but now we're blowing teams out, so then he sits the fourth quarter. So like his stats aren't that great again. So like it's gonna be the same. It happened last year too. We were blowing teams out, and the coach like and mid third quarter is like fucking sit. Like our bench is good enough to like do it
Right.
and maintain a lead. And if it fizzles out a little bit, like they'll go back in, but it usually doesn't happen. And also
Right.
he's real big on like fucking we'll lose a game before I pull them back out. Like they need to learn how to lose too and
Yeah.
shit like that. So yeah, Missoula's a wizard. He's like the young Belichick of the NBA. Our coach is the best. He is like he got interviewed recently with the like, what's the pressure of returning? And he's like, 50 years from now, we're all going to be dead. It doesn't matter. It's just basketball. There's no pressure. It's just basketball. We won. It's over. Let's all move on. Like he's that guy, so it's awesome. So I love it. For me, that's the best. Like it's a match made in heaven. I love it. Like I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. That's the way to look at it. So,
It's all good while you're winning.
yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, other than that though, like legitimate highlights and things like that that have happened recently. John Morant is back, not flinging guns on Instagram. So if he's back
Yeah.
and back playing basketball and is invested in basketball, the kid's a freak. Like
Yeah.
the kid can play basketball. So hit like this, came up with one hand for like a dunk. And then somehow turned and switched hands and reversed into like this clean looking layup. Like it was
Right.
very
He did it
Jordan-esque.
twice, right?
Twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was insane. Like the one was a little different, but like the one was just like everyone just was like the fuck. Like it was you got the reaction from Saquon on the bench, like the same thing here. Like the court, like the sideline was just everyone was like, what the hell just happened? Paul George returned for your Sixers the other night. Kevin Durant heats up though. Suns win the game, so Paul George's return was spoiled, but he did have I believe 15 or something like that. So like he scored some. Like he was out there, he looked okay. Does I'm no expert obviously, but doesn't look like super duper healthy or confident or whatever. I mean, he chucks balls up, no question. Like he's out there to shoot. I'm sure he's just coming back and kind of testing it, but just didn't look like himself. It looked weird. It was like you were waiting for him to like, all right, now it's time to turn it on, and he didn't. So Anthony Davis went down. It's a big dude, 7 foot,
Surprise.
7 feet, yeah, 7 foot, whatever. That's a big guy, so they're always injured.
The sun
Always
comes
foot
up, the sun goes down, and Anthony Davis gets hurt in the NBA
facts.
season.
Yes, yeah, we're at that point already. Yeah, so the Lakers are in a weird spot right now. They're not coming out hot like everybody thought. Almost as usual though. Cavs and the Thunder both still undefeated. So one's 8-0, one's 7-0. So of course NBA season, it's a long season. Those are going
Yeah.
to fizzle out. Teams are going to go on streaks, but those are two teams that people predicted to be good, and they are doing their thing. So I mean, it could last for a little while. We'll see how long they can run it. How much do you know about the NBA Cup?
That's their like in season tournament, right?
Yep.
That's about the beginning and end of my knowledge. So they just
Cool.
have an in season tournament to make things
Yep. So
interesting.
super fast rundown for you. Yeah, they have an in-season tour, make things interesting. The schedule works like the NBA or the NFL, where there's like an algorithm to it. So this is how they mix it up, get them to play different teams more or less often. It's soccer, I believe, where they just get grouped into different shit. So it's just randomized or based on win percentage or whatever of
Yeah.
the previous year. So group A, B, C, D, and E. So there's just five groups. They do a few days of rallying rounds. So they basically took like a portion of the schedule and said, all right, all the teams play 12 games in this time. Let's just make a bracket out of it and do some rallying.
Right.
Or round robin or whatever the hell it's
Right.
called
Round
to do
robin.
that. So, yeah, yeah. So they just all play each other. The best team percentage goes into the best winning team goes into the bracket, and there's seeding, and then you go on. During it, they change their courts. So like highlights and images, you can always tell when it was from the tournament because the court changes. They pop out all their blocks and put in
Sure.
like it's like the color rush jerseys. It's like the color rush
Okay.
version of the NFL. Kind of the
Yeah.
best way to explain it. So, but yeah, I mean, the first year they get
This is the third year of this, right?
I think the third year, yeah.
Yeah.
The first year the Lakers won it. The second year the Pacers won it. Unless last year the Celtics won it. Honestly, now I'm dry. I'm gonna have to double check that. Um, but yeah, either way, yeah, it's making more and more sense. The first year it felt like it was really confusing, but like now it makes sense the way they did it. They really just cut out a chunk of the schedule and put it into like a way that it all makes sense. No one's playing any more or less
Yeah.
games than anyone else should be. So, but yeah, so that starts November 12th. So that's coming up. So that's pretty sweet. Greg Popovich is indefinitely out. He is super oldish now, so it's unfortunate to see, but he's indefinitely out. They have
Yeah.
Chris Paul, they have Wemby, they have a bunch of other players. Jeremy Sokin or Sokin, I forget how to pronounce his name. he's the one that makes like real boneheaded plays sometimes, just like real dumb shit and says dumb shit, but then like is also an athletic freak, and so it's like you have to play him. So it's like
Yeah.
you have to get the Dennis Rodman of their team in a way, but
Okay.
way, 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 way watered down. So yeah, so it's just like a weird thing. But yeah, Pop's out indefinitely, so that always sucks. But Chris Paul was like, well, I mean, I came here to like work with him, and now he's out. So like, I got to go win these games for him. So hopefully, Chris actually turns it on. Um, Other Chris Paul highlight I saw the other day. There's a video of him in the corner of the stadium, standing there, just like looking around for like 2 minutes, and like the play is getting ready to start. And he's like wiping his jersey, like wiping his shoes and shit, and just like looking into the stands, and like turns around and is like, you can see he's just like stressing out about both. Like the play is like legitimately about to start. Like they're not on a timeout. Like the ref's about to like dribble the ball and hand it over to him. Like the other team is just like coming out there, and he's like still looking. And then finally, someone like one of the guys that works for the team, I think, is like, "What do you look for?" He's like, my mom. He's like, where is she? And he was like point. He like sees like way up. He's like up there. He goes, and he like gives like a little wave, and immediately you see that he's like, all right, cool, I found my mom. Like the dude's almost 40, but like I guess
Yeah.
it just never goes away. Where you're like, all right, my mom's in the stands. I'm good now. But then right away he turns to the guy that he was talking to. He said, can't carry no better seats than that. And like you hear the guy go, I'll work on it. Like, and it was just like Chris Paul was pissed. He's like, dog, my mom is up there. Like, are you kidding me? He's like, I know I'm new on the Spurs, but I can do better than that. Like, if I gotta pay for it, I'll pay for it. But don't put mom up there. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it was a funny video of Chris just being. It was like, no matter how old you are, you still look for mom in the stands. And then last of the NBA news, something I'm sure you heard of, but yeah, it was an article written by an analyst about him, Joel Embiid, who basically just the sum it up in the quickest paraphrasing was that the article was, hey, Joel
Yeah.
Embiid can't be the guy he says he is and cares about the city and everything else if he's not playing, but then also added in a line about his
His
brother who had passed
brother,
away
yeah,
and
and
his
his son or
son
her
and
son.
his yeah his son. And it just was like, yeah, if like, oh, you can't be a good dad and have your brother pass away and also not care about, like, it just
Yeah.
was weirdly worded. And Joel had a huge problem with it, so he like pushed the guy. And so yeah, it's a whole situation. But yeah, he
Yeah.
got suspended for 3 games. So as you joked in the group chat, he was gonna not play for
Yep.
those three anyway, so he probably just needed a rest or tore something and was like, I'll just push somebody so it doesn't look like I got hurt.
Yeah.
But yeah, so beat out. I mean, yeah, the Sixers are, I wouldn't say like dumpster fire yet, but they're dumpster fire watch. Like,
Yeah.
because Paul George, if anything happens, I mean, they just like they're just in a spot. Because if Embiid's really hurt, if the NBA investigates and forces him to play back to backs or any other dumb shit, like, this is just going to be this whole load management argument and all this other stuff. It's just going to be this weird back and forth. So
I don't. I'm not a basketball expert, obviously, but like, how do you force somebody to play?
that it's going to
Like,
be
literally,
weird.
what's he gonna do? Play like 2 minutes and be like, "Yep, I
It,
played."
yeah, I play
Yeah.
it's
Like
gonna be
that's what
so
this is gonna
odd.
turn into, and then
It's
what?
gonna be yeah, it's gonna
And then
be a
what?
very, because Kawhi Leonard is kind of the one too where he's just like right away was like, my knee hurts, I'm out indefinitely, like, and he just is like, I don't want to play right now, like the team's good enough to get me to the playoffs and then I'll fucking play, like
Yeah.
let the other teams be banged up and then I'll go out there and ball the hell out because I'll be in rehab all season. Like,
Right.
it's odd, but like, yeah, so it's there's, and I see like there's the side of it of like the kids paying all their last dollars to come see you play. And like, I get it. Like, that
Yeah.
makes sense too.
I
So
get all
like,
sides of
but
it,
yeah, like I
but
feel like
I don't know what you do about it.
the answer is shorten the season. Like
Yes,
the
I
answer is
agree.
shorten the season. Like
Yeah, the
that is
games
the
become
answer.
more important then.
No one wants to
And
miss a game, or like
yeah.
you put in like because they implemented the, well, you have to play, like 60 games or whatever to win MVP or to win whatever and yada yada yada. And like,
Right.
that's all fine and dandy, but the player, like I was thinking about the other day, the players that are winning those typically also have endorsements. So like,
Right.
yeah, that $1 million is probably a lot of money, but like not really. Like they
Right.
don't care that much about the
Yeah, they
MVP
made
that
that
they're
in a
gonna put.
commercial last
Yeah,
week.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're not gonna hurt themselves long term to go do an MVP race and not do anything in the playoffs. And like Joel Embiid, sure, he can win five, six, seven MVPs, and then he's just always going to be known as the dude that failed in the playoffs and couldn't get by the second round and
Yeah.
pushed that reporter that one time. Like, he's never going to be anything more than that. So like, he's got to win this. So like, yeah, I don't blame him for being like, yeah, fuck that. I want to rest. I'm old. I can't see already. Like, my knees hurt, my feet hurt. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, so yeah, the load management thing is going to be crazy. But yeah, I think the only answer is just shorten the season. Like, cut that shit down. 82 games is too much. I'd like drop it to 50 or 40 or something like that. And like the playoff seeding, the lottery, like, yeah, the lottery, I feel like the NBA has it right with the lottery where like you can tank, but you're not guaranteed the first pick then. Whereas the
Right.
NFL, like, you just have to be literally the lowest number in the win column and you get
Yeah.
the number one pick. So yeah, I think like a lottery in the NFL would actually be pretty sweet too, because then those teams at the bottom, like, you just wouldn't get as many thrown games. You'd get way closer, more competitive games,
I'm not sure it's a
hopefully.
problem now, really.
I mean, yeah, like the late in the season, I feel like it's just like you get the teams like if they're not playing spoiler, like both teams just don't give a shit. Like
Yeah,
those and like it's hard to even watch those games because as a fan, you're just like this means fucking nothing. They don't care. Both teams are out of the playoffs. Like
yeah,
it's non-divisional. Who cares? But the NFL did a good job of that of reorganizing the schedule for most division games to end the
yeah,
season. So that's pretty sick. But yeah, anyway, but yeah, so that's pretty much it for NBA. Said there wasn't much. I clicked on like the NBA on ESPN. I was like, damn, so much has happened in the last few days. I was like, I guess we should touch on some of that. So
yeah.
but yeah, other than that, basketball related still. NCAA started last night. Um, NCAA men's basketball started last night, so North Carolina got a win. We're up 1-0. Woo.
Hey,
Big games really start Friday. There's a few games on. A couple of top 25 teams play tonight, tomorrow. But realistically, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there's a ton of.
sure. First weekend.
That
Awkward
was so weird.
pause.
I heard like a tweeting or something. Is that in your house? Or is it on? Oh my
No.
God. I was watching. I'm so sorry. Sorry, everyone that's listening. I was watching the basketball game, and ESPN has like this thing up that has like a ticking sound in my ear, and that's like I thought I was in the
Uh,
house, and I was like, "Are the boys awake? Like, is there a TV?" Like, I was so stressed out there for a second. All right, sorry, everyone. Anyway, college basketball started last night.
First big weekend.
Yeah, first big weekend this weekend. So yeah, so we're rolling into there.
Cool.
Um, Other than that, sticking into college, you see the top four
Yeah,
for the college football
I
playoff.
did, and they put out another bracket, so that's kind of cool. Uh,
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
so yeah, that makes the 4 round buys. You get BYU, Oregon, Miami, and Georgia with buys, and then Boise State plays Ohio State. Indiana plays Tennessee, Alabama plays Texas, and Notre Dame plays Penn State. And that's your bracket.
Yeah, see, that
Um,
is exciting as
that
all
is
hell.
very exciting, yes.
I would definitely take
With the
that.
first team out being SMU and the second team out being Texas A&M, with how the rankings were released today. So that I don't know, that'd be super cool to watch. I just the this is what we asked for. Um, Hopefully Army beats Notre Dame this weekend and makes it Army, because I would love to see that.
Yeah, who would Army replace in that? If I'm looking at the right one, you have 8, 9, Indiana, Tennessee, Georgia's 2,
Yeah.
Miami's 3, BYU's 4. That one.
Yes.
Okay, who would the Army replace in there?
It depends on where they ended up getting ranked, but if they got to 12, then they would replace Boise State.
Okay, all right, cool.
Uh,
Oh, Ashton Genty, damn
but they're going to play Notre Dame, so presumably Notre Dame would fall out if Army wins that game.
it. Okay. Ooh, Army Penn State would be a sick game.
Yeah.
That'd be a lot of fun. All right,
Yeah,
cool.
in Happy Valley, that'd be pretty cool.
I'm all on board. That's yeah. This is
I
a
would
solid. Yeah, I said yeah. Nothing
I'd be
insane
looking to see if I
happened.
could get some tickets to that game.
Yeah. I would honestly, that would be one where I would be willing just to go up and like tailgate and shit and like watch the game in the parking lot on a TV. Like that
Yeah.
would just be so fun to just be up there and in the atmosphere. Cause like if they win, like you get to sit on the parking lot and watch this wave of excitement come out of the stadium and it's party
Yeah.
time. And if they lose, you just gotta get the fuck out of there before everybody comes out. Like
Yeah.
you see them lose, it's time to leave the parking lot. But yes, college football playoff, the playoff picture as of today. That's it looks exciting. I'm all for it. I love the 12
Same.
team playoff so far. Like
Big
it's
matchups. That
it's
sounds great to me.
bye weeks and all. Yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
So
Um, that pretty much wraps up college football, though. Not too much to talk about there.
yeah,
Uh,
the floor
and
is yours,
then
sir.
yeah, motorsports. I'll start with F1.
Vroom vroom.
Max Verstappen had an incredible drive. Weather was wild in Sao Paulo. It was raining. It was dry. It was raining again. There were multiple accidents causing red flags and virtual safety cars, and I know you don't really understand any of that, but that's okay.
No, I understand a little bit of that.
It was a wild race. Max Verstappen drives from 17th to first. Lando blows. He started first, and blew it. As they said, I think he ended up finishing fourth or fifth, and just basically gave up any chances he had at a title and beating Max Verstappen with Max coming through the field. Uh, Lando says it's all luck. I partially agree with him. Um, at a certain point, you still have to be able to drive the car like many others were not able to do. So, and he did that. He did it successfully. And then I don't know if you saw Travis Kelsey, Patrick Mahomes, and a group of like their investors bought a portion of Alpine Racing. Their two cars finished second and third this week. So it
Damn,
was
that's pretty sick.
it's they're calling it the $50 million lottery because when you finish second and third, they got I think it's 18 and 12 points between the two positions, and that gave them the 40 points in the standings, which moved them up enough that in the constructors championship that they get $50 million payout at the end of the season,
Damn.
like over what they were going into the
Right,
race.
right, right.
So because you get the highest team gets the most amount of money, and then it's bracketed the whole way down.
Yeah, yeah.
So they went from being like there's 10 teams. They went from being like ninth to like fifth, and
And
basically going
added
to get
50
$50 million just for
Damn.
those two cars finishing first and second.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know there's so much money in that shit. It's crazy.
yeah.
That's
It's
F1's gotta be just because yeah, I'm
when you have
staring
a
at
worldwide
Rolex
sport.
advertisements all over this highlight that
Uh-huh.
I'm watching right now.
Yeah.
Also, I watched the one wreck. The dude got pissed off and tried to get back on the track through the sand and got stuck. That is fucking hysterical.
Oh, that was before the race even started. That was Lance Stroll on the warm up lap.
Is that the warm up? Is that what it
Yeah,
was?
a formation lap. Yeah, he
Yeah, and then
he
he tries to get
wrecks
back in. You can
and
see he's like pissed off and goes to like rev up and then spins back around to cut through the dirt and just gets stuck in
yeah,
the sand or dirt or whatever it is. His
yeah,
tire is just fucking spinning. He's just sitting there.
yeah. It was just such a wild race. If you have it, it's worth going back and watching, because you can kind of fast forward through stuff. It's about like a 2.5 hour race, and just
Yeah,
like all the
F1 on
crazy shit
YouTube has
happening.
like a 9 or an 8 minute race highlight thing
Yeah.
right that they just posted. That's it's
Okay.
got 7 million views from 2 days ago. It's fucking
Yeah.
bananas.
Yeah.
Nothing like sending Formula a fucking $10,000 check from YouTube.
Right. Um, and then moving to NASCAR, I mentioned this Sunday night. I was super stoked. My driver Ryan Blaney wins in Martinsville for the second year in a row and gets into the Final Four. Really a redemption drive from the previous week where he lost it in turn 3 and 4 to Tyler Reddick. Um, he came out. He was so good on the long run, and thankfully it went long. And he drove from 10th to first in like 50 laps, which is like unheard of at that track. Their lap times are like 19 seconds, I think, to get around that track.
Oh damn! So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
so it's
only a half
quick.
mile, so it's quick. And he was able to pass all of them and
Grinding.
hold the lead. But it was greatly overshadowed by the foolery, if I will, to get that last position. So there's three races, which means three winners can lock themselves into the final four, which means somebody gets in on points. So it came down to, with Ryan Blaney leading, it comes down to Christopher Bell and William Byron. And William Byron drives a Chevy, Christopher Bell drives a Toyota. So the Toyotas are telling, there's a Toyota in front of Christopher Bell. It was another Toyota, Bubba Wallace, who drives for 23XI, the 23 car.
Hmm?
Um, he was told to basically like let Tyler Reddick pass you, and he said he blew a tire and like pulled up the track and let Christopher Bell go by. Christopher Bell carries way too much speed into the turn, hits the wall and wall rides like Ross Chastain did a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Well, NASCAR outlawed that. So he does that around half the corner after smashing the wall with his car to keep his position. So when they cross the start finish line, Christopher Bell is tied with William Byron, and Christopher Bell has a tiebreaker. NASCAR comes out and says, "Hey, that's a safety violation. You're penalized one lap, which means you didn't really finish on the lead lap. You finished behind everybody. You're no longer tied."
Oh
William
my
Byron gets
god.
in. Then the audio starts coming out about the Chevrolets that were behind. So it's William Byron and then two Chevrolets behind him were just blocking everybody behind him so nobody could pass him and he wouldn't lose any spots. He would be tied or ahead of Christopher Bell. And
Right.
there's radio communications between the teams saying like, "Hey, you know the deal, right? Like, don't pass him. He's in a 1 point battle for the championship." Like, cars that like they basically caught him, and then two Chevrolets just parked side by side behind him and
And
didn't let
there's
anybody else
yeah,
by.
damn. And
And
that's not allowed. You're not allowed to do that.
well, there's not really any specific rules against it, but it's against the sporting code of like, hey, you should be trying as hard as possible.
Hmm.
Like, if you can pass
It's
a
like an
car, you should be
ethics
passing a car.
violation.
Yes.
Like the American Racing
Yeah.
Association is the people going to have an issue. Like whoever the
Right.
fuck it is, like the lead candidacy of it.
Yeah. So NASCAR
Interesting.
comes out today on Tuesday, and they said they suspended 9 people. The two Chevys that were behind William Byron and Bubba Wallace. They suspended your crew chief, your spotter, and a few other team members. They fined the drivers, and I think they fined the team some points in the uh, owners points, which is how NASCAR pays out, similar to Formula One. So they did find them, but everybody's saying like two things. One, people are tired of the playoff system that they have, so people are trying to get rid of it.
It is
And
really confusing. You explained it to me that first night, and I was like, okay, it makes sense. Like ever since then, I'm just like, okay, there's just it's so much. Like you have to see it. Like you can't
yes,
just be like, oh man, who's left? Like it's like, well, these guys, but this guy has the points, and this guy clinched it, and this one did. Like I feel like there's so much that goes into it. But also, I guess like if I learned it a little better now that I'm saying it out loud, it doesn't
right.
sound like that much. Like it's
Once you
just like
start
college
understanding
football
the
playoff,
sport, it
yeah,
makes a little more
college
sense.
football
But
playoff. Like
I
there's a
definitely
bye
get where you're
team
coming
and
from.
this and this. But like yeah, I still feel like it's still too difficult. Like
Yeah,
and also like I get that everyone races, but like it would be so much better if like there was 4 people left and those 4 guys raced. Like I understand that
yeah,
it
fair
has to be
enough.
everyone, but like the 4 of them, like because then it's just like, what the fuck are the point of everyone else? Because then people are blocking people and shit. Like I want to see a Lightning McQueen Cars 2 winner take all trio race thing where they do it. Like that's what I want to see. I want to see them out there one on one. Like make it
One on
less
one.
laps or whatever. Yeah, like one on one. Like make it less laps or whatever. That's fine, but but that's how they should do it. Is the championship should be the playoffs and like a X amount of lapped race, and then you divvy down the field, and you just keep getting down until it's like a 50 lap race with like 2 or 3 dudes. Like that would be so much more fun. I feel like it'd be a waste of time and a waste of money and all that. And I
Yeah,
get it. It'd be like
it
selling
takes away
tickets and
from the
stuff, but
spirit of racing.
it does. But it just feels weird because like you have people that aren't in the playoffs racing. Like it'd be like
They
the
can still
NFL
go win
being
the
like,
race and win the money.
yeah. But that's okay. Well, that what spirit of racing? Trying to win the money. Like now it's about money and not racing. Like
I mean, it's about
it's just
winning.
I guess, but it's just
You
weird
just
because then
happen to
like,
get the money with the
but
win.
just like imagine the NFL being like, okay, yeah, like here's the NFL playoffs, and the 1 seed Chiefs are gonna play the fucking 32nd seed Jaguars. Like, but like if the Chiefs lose, they don't actually lose; they go to the next round. But the Jaguars get a paycheck. Like it just feels dumb to have teams that aren't racing in the playoffs or that aren't in the playoffs racing.
Okay, we'll agree to disagree.
And you don't
Um,
think that that's dumb? That I mean, like again, I get the race of aspect of it. It's like taking out the logic of the money and the legalities of things. Like, wouldn't it make sense that as you get eliminated, the pool should get eliminated too? Like, you don't think a one-on-one race is better than one-on-one
that
that
would be
one can
so
get,
boring.
but one can
You
get
know,
wrecked by somebody that's just not even worth like in the race at all. You just get bumped.
yeah, that's the
Part of the racing,
yeah, that's part of the deal.
I guess.
Yeah, like a holding call in the Super Bowl. That's part of the deal.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Anyways,
guess. Anyway,
so yeah, very interesting. And then also, your team was in court today. Michael Jordan in court
love it.
with NASCAR. They're looking for an injunction while the case is going. So this was their injunction hearing, meaning that they're looking to basically they want NASCAR to still treat them as a charter member while the lawsuit is going on.
We still gonna be on your team for a little bit, but once
Well,
we win this
they
lawsuit, you can go
basically
fuck yourself.
they basically are like, we should be able to continue business as usual while this lawsuit's going on. NASCAR shouldn't be able to kick us out because we didn't sign their agreement.
Right.
And the
And
biggest part of
NASCAR is
that,
probably gonna say fuck off. You didn't sign the agreement.
right, exactly, and the biggest part of that argument is the new agreement that the two teams that are suing NASCAR did not sign includes a clause that says you're not allowed to sue NASCAR. So, so yeah, that's the biggest thing. So they were in court today. The judge heard both sides of the argument and said he would have a ruling by Friday. So going into the weekend, we should have information about what is going to happen to 23XI Racing and Front Row Motorsports.
Okay, so here's the thing. Why doesn't Jordan just go start his own NASCAR? Because I know that you said that they don't report public earnings, and they don't, and
Right.
this confirms that. But it says that it's anywhere from 100 to 200 million typically. It was roughly 425 million in 2022 and 362 million in 2023. The NASCAR sponsorship revenue anyway. So like you're talking like yeah, like 100 million-ish dollars in just like straight profit, I guess, however that breaks down.
Yes and no.
So yeah,
You
so
have
like
to
if
pay
you
the
just
teams out of that money,
right, right,
and you
right,
have to
right.
negotiate
Well, so
contracts with
that's just
television.
sponsorship money though. So when you take into account all the other money, that's what probably helps pay the teams. It's just that's what I mean. So like yes,
Yeah,
they made 2 or 300 million, so they probably pocketed 50 to 100 or whatever. Like
sure.
they made a couple hundred. They made some fucking money.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan net worth is 3.5 billion fucking dollars. Just go start your own. Why are you even fucking around with NASCAR? Just go
I,
start net. Just go start NASCAR too, and then be done with it. Like just go be done with it. Like I don't understand.
while I agree with you, that is a lot more of an investment. That's a lot more energy and time.
I mean, I'm sure it is, but if you have a
I
fucked up like the NFL is this perfect product, and then the UFL and the XFL and the AFL all keep trying to be little
right.
brother. If NASCAR is the perfect product and they have all these loopholes and fucking idiot situations,
Yeah.
that feels like an opportunity where like a competitor should be involved.
Yes and
Like
no.
all the other leagues, I feel like are landslide winners. Like you're not going to start a new baseball league, you're not going to start a new NBA league, but like a new NASCAR doesn't seem so crazy.
Yeah. Yes and no. I understand where you're coming from. I can't imagine any one person wanting to take on that investment and that work alone.
I'm gonna tweet Jordan.
Okay, go for it. You be
Okay.
the manager of
Yeah.
NASCAR too.
Dude, yeah, dude,
I'll
listen,
I'll be the commissioner.
I had an idea. Listen, me and AJ, we're gonna hook you up, okay? We're gonna hook you up.
Um,
We just need you to write a check, just a little check, just a little check.
yeah. But yeah, that's about it for NASCAR. We'll see what happens later this week with the lawsuit, and then this weekend coming, we will have the championship race in Phoenix.
That's on Sunday, isn't it?
It is on Sunday. Yep, probably 3 o'clock if I had to guess.
Okay. All right.
Also, for what it's worth, the Truck Series and the Xfinity Series will also have championships this weekend in Phoenix. That'll be on Friday and Saturday night.
Nice.
So
That
yeah,
makes sense. So
3 o'clock.
everybody's fucking out there in Phoenix this weekend.
Yes, precisely.
Damn, I actually kind of wish I was out there now instead of when I was. That would be so cool because it's like an hour drive, so I could have just driven down and just seen the whole city shut the fuck down because that's a
Yeah.
lot of people and teams and RVs and trucks and buses and all that shit. Like, that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn, that's kind of crazy.
So, yeah, trucks are Friday night at 8 p.m. Xfinity is Saturday at 7:30 p.m. These are Eastern time, and Cup Series is Sunday at 3. So, full weekend of racing. And Formula One, for what it's worth, is on a break. They have like a 3 week break before they come back to Las Vegas. So,
Cool.
yeah. You have anything else to add?
Nope, we got a bunch of games tonight as you guys are listening to this. We have a 3, 6, 9, we have a 10, 12. We have 12 games. That's a hell yeah, I'm betting tonight. Yeah, we've got a couple games under the belt already. So yeah, we have 12 games on the NBA slate tonight. So lots of games coming up. College football, college basketball, all
Yeah.
kinds of good stuff's popping off right
Hockey's
now.
doing
So
things. Yeah.
hockey's doing hockey things.
Yeah. So it's worthwhile watching stuff if you're around. All right. Fun fact. We'll go sports related. No high jumper has ever been able to stay off the ground for more than 1 second.
You tell me I can't jump for a second. I need to go. Okay, stopwatch. That does not feel like that long. Okay, no, it does feel like forever.
Yep.
That feels like a long fucking
Yeah.
time.
To
I
be
gotta test this.
from the time they're
Hold on, I can't hear you.
legs.
I feel like I got .7. I'm gonna be practicing this. I'm gonna be fucking practicing this. This
You need
is gonna be
something
a
to do
thing.
walking around that warehouse all day.
Oh, dude, you have no idea the bored of my face. I literally just sat on Reddit today for like an hour where I was like, things to listen to make me smarter. I was like, I don't know what else to listen to. I've listened to every podcast I can. I've listened to every song on Spotify. Every like every radio I can guess what the next song is gonna be. Like, yeah, I was like, I need something in my ears because like my hands are busy all day, so like, it's not like I can do anything with my phone
Yeah.
usually. So it's like I just need to like I'm just staring around at the warehouse all day, just looking at shit. Like they probably feel like I'm always casing the place because I am just literally just looking at shit all the time. I just walk around just looking at like cameras and like the way the shit's like built and steps and stuff. Like, it looks so dumb. So I'm just walking around. I'm definitely gonna be practicing jumps though. 0.70. I feel like that wasn't even a good one. That was my first jump. I wasn't even ready. No high jumper ever has ever got a second.
Yep. No high jumper ever has spent more than 1 second off the ground.
I might be going to the Olympics, AJ. You might have just changed my life.
Maybe.
I might be a high jumper in the Olympics. I'm
Yep.
going to LA.
LA 2028.
2028. I got
Yeah.
4 years of training.
There
I
you
think
go.
actually you have to like register like 5 years in advance. So I think I'd have to do 2032.
Fair enough.
Whatever.
All right. Well, I appreciate you all. Hope you have a great Wednesday. I will not be here Thursday night. Dayne's
Oh yeah,
flying
that's right.
solo. Don't know what he's up to.
Yeah,
And
we're figuring
for
out what
being
we're gonna
honest, he
do.
probably won't know what he's up to until Thursday night. So
I did actually start laying some groundwork. Also, the
okay.
2032 Olympics are in Australia, so a good day, mate. I'm gonna be a high jumper, high jumper Dane. But yeah, so yeah, we will be here live Thursday night. I will. We are eligible to go live from Cup of Sports. I would like to
Yeah.
do it with you the first time though. I feel like that's fair, so I'll do it again for my profile. That way, I can tell everyone that like that'll be the main focus of the episode is
Okay.
like Cup of Sports. Let's try to get everybody over to there. Yeah, but I did. I started laying some groundwork. I have some ideas. We'll try to figure out what we're gonna do. But yeah, I have the ideas, but you're right. I probably won't finalize it until Thursday, about an hour before the episode. So
I know how you operate.
yeah.
For what it's
Okay.
worth, Thursday's night game is the Ravens versus
And
the
Bengals.
Bengals in
Yeah,
Baltimore. So
yeah. Dalton's going, so I'll just have him FaceTime me, and then I'll just like hold my phone up and just be like, "Look, guys, he's there." That's what I'll just do the whole episode.
you'll get flagged for the commentary over the
Hundred
PA
percent,
system.
100%,
Yeah.
100%. All right.
All right.
Well,
Appreciate
GG's
you guys.
everybody.
Like,
Yep. Have a great
subscribe,
Wednesday.
rate.
Like
Have
and
a great Wednesday.
subscribe. Thanks, Derek.
Appreciate y'all.
See ya.